How to talk with your partner about relationships. Let's dive into why it's crucial to be clear about your sexual preferences before talking about how to talk about sex with your partner. As a sex therapist and researcher, I can confidently state that erectile dysfunction, not lack of sex desire, variations in sexual preferences, issues having orgasms during sex, or differences in sexual styles are not the main causes of individuals seeking sex therapy, all of which are common complaints. Instead of preventing people from freely and honestly discussing their sexual difficulties, needs, dislikes, or wishes with their partner, shame and fear are at blame. The time is now for it to change. People are having less sex, according to recent research findings. There is also evidence that our struggles with mental health are becoming worse. With these in mind, the advantages of sex for boosting health and lubricating relationships are more crucial than ever. But I understand that it can be challenging to know how to broach the subject of sex with your spouse. I spend so much time thinking about and researching sex because of my profession as a sex therapist neuroscientist that even I become bored with the topic. Even at one point, my personal sexual life suffered as a result of my studies. I couldn't stop thinking about my mind during sex while conducting my research on what transpires in the brain during sexual stimulation and orgasm. My ability to unwind during the actual orgasm was greatly compromised by my attempts to find answers to all of my questions about them. Fortunately, the side effect of being engrossed in the challenging process of PhD research was only transitory. However, I discovered that becoming caught in a circle of diversion-inducing ideas is one of the most effective ways to end a positive sexual session. On a related point, my research revealed that even merely visualizing joyful sex may enliven the brain and cause a real orgasm. The key to having good sex is to focus on your physical feelings rather than your mental images. And talking to your spouse about what's occurring in and out of the bedroom will help you get out of your thoughts. Having fun is not a luxury. It is essential to achieving physical health, a healthy emotional brain, fulfilling relationships, and a worthwhile life. I believe that by learning how to discuss sex and pleasure with our partners, more couples will be able to avoid future trips to sex therapists or, even worse, divorce attorneys. Good sex doesn't simply occur. It necessitates continuous communication. The false notion that sexual fulfillment spontaneously happens is one of the most damaging illusions about sexuality. That healthy sexual activity should develop naturally and uninhibitedly inside a partnership, and that if it doesn't, something is wrong. Each of us has a distinct sexual fingerprint type that is different from the others. These erotic fingerprints might occasionally still be suitable after the honeymoon phase has passed. Not always, though. Talking about your sexual desires, fantasies, preferred methods of sex, and even what you mean by having sex can help partners understand each other's differing needs and desires in terms of sex. A desire to regularly refresh your sex life is essential to maintaining it exciting and energetic in a long-term partnership. That entails understanding that there are no restrictions on the frequency of sex. Our sexual lives fluctuate throughout both time and place. We become more innovative and creative as well as more likely to have more closeness and pleasure in our sexual relationships when we broaden the definition of what it means to have sex to include enjoying bodily pleasures together. Prepare to feel awkward since discussing sex may be difficult. Let that go, okay? Recognize that discussing sex with your spouse might cause anxiety for both of you. We know that partners who have strong sexual communication have mastered the ability to lean into the edges of challenging talks and face problems head-on. I frequently advise my clients to jump right in when they are hesitant or anxious to bring up a problem. Any sexual encounter, action, or simply mere discussion of sex may elicit a wide range of feelings. So learning to accept both our own and other people's feelings is one of the most crucial skills for successful sex, and healthy relationships, in general. Many situations might improve if people were more open and honest about sex with their partners. Affair prevention is more likely when needs and wants for intimacy and connection are met, and more fun is had overall. Try not to bring up sex in casual conversation. Make a date to speak and decide on a good goal. Never attempt to discuss sex without first creating a secure environment. If you design the discussion with purpose, you will probably have one that is more beneficial and positive. It's crucial how you phrase the urge to talk about sex. The problem framing is when a partner assumes that something is wrong when you request to have a sex conversation. Even if you have a problem with your sex life, consider how you may convince your spouse that this type of discussion is enthralling and empowering. Switch to the outcome frame and ask yourself what you want and how you can work together to make it happen. Request a meeting day and time. Consider delaying the talk as a form of foreplay, a sensual game that two people might play. This provides an opportunity for both sides to consider their statements. Consider what you require for a fulfilling sex life in addition to what your spouse needs. One method to discover your sexual preferences is to keep a journal. To prepare for the meeting, you might also offer to your spouse that you read about methods that couples can explore their sexual potential. Make sex conversation a component of the pre-play. Order a physical copy of a sex-positive book, such as the groundbreaking international bestseller The Joy of Sex from 1974, before giving your lecture. While couple sex apps are one method to start a dialogue, I believe purchasing the actual book is crucial. You may handle it, turn the pages, and engage with the book as a whole. Go through it while you talk about experimenting with different sex positions. Inscribe notes in the book. In the index, you can either circle or cross items out. Take note of your turn-ons and turn-offs as well as the sexual activities you have done in the past and would like to perform in the future. Or, you may complete this on your own and then talk about your findings with your partner. Taking chances may be seductive, but keep in mind how to have a positive sex conversation. Pick a date and time when you and your conversation partner are most likely to feel at ease and open. After a tough day, avoid doing this. Make sure you and your partner are in the correct frame of mind before you even start. Don't panic or draw unfounded inferences if your spouse demonstrates any symptoms of concern or resistance to the dialogue. Instead, work together to arrange a second date so you may discuss your sexual desires. As soon as your spouse gives the all clear, make sure you are alone and in a peaceful, private setting. Create a venue where people may think out loud. To make this talk feel like a safe place to explore, ask your spouse what they need or desire. The ideal type of meaningful communication occurs when we feel secure and unconstrained to express our ideas, aspirations, concerns, and wishes. Consider it an off-the-record discussion. Demonstrate that what is said during a discussion stays in Vegas. They infiltrate one another's thoughts so they may experiment and explore together. This is what couples who generate lifetime sexual potential do. Begin by telling your spouse that you are eager to make things more enjoyable for both of you. Reassure your spouse that you are eager to hear what they have to say while thanking them for their willingness to listen. Then talk about what you want to produce as a group. Keep in mind that expressing your desires to your spouse in a risky way is essential for increasing your capacity for enjoyment. It's normal if you're unsure of what you want when it comes to mixing things up in the bedroom or having sex. Just be open-minded and interested in ways to spice up your partner's sex. I even propose that we redefine sex as simply adult recreation, with or without genitals, friction, or orgasms. You don't even have to think about having sex, just consider enjoyable activities you may do together. In my relationship, which has been going on for more than 4 decades, we frequently discuss how to recharge by focusing on getting back into our pleasure bodies by going for walks or relaxing in the hot tub. By partaking in delightful activities, we discover that the need for pleasure returns, and our sex life is revived. Consider, then, enrolling both you and your partner in the notion that sex life may be a playground for adults, offering a variety of opportunities for paired discovery. When it's your chance to listen, try to have an open mind, refrain from passing judgment on yourself or your partner, and allow feelings of shame or embarrassment to be felt and expressed. Take turns speaking. Secure it by requesting, Repeat your partner's request, "Is what I understand you to be saying. Is that accurate?" To acquire more clarity, request more specifics. Your spouse will appreciate being heard and understood if you do this. If you and your partner spoke about couples sex toys you'd want to try, go ahead and order them or schedule a date to go shopping. A nice sex discussion just had. Set a time to meet so that you may talk more. The chat may become more in-depth and a regular part of your interactions with your spouse as you grow intimacy after you establish a safe environment and a strong connection. Try it out.